Jazz.
I'm Crystal.
This is Bella.
And this is Izzy.
Today we are going to be doing part 2 of our Q&A. But before we do that, we have some exciting news to announce. Last week we did a giveaway on our channel with Jackery, and someone has won the Jackery 500.
Woohoo!
Drum roll! Woo! And the winner is...
Christopher! Congratulations, Christopher. To claim your prize, please email your shipping address to marketing@jackery.com.
Thank you to everyone that participated, and enjoy your Jackery, Chris.
Yeah!
Woohoo! And let's start with the Q&A. So this week we're going to be talking about van life. All your questions about living in a van or anything van life related, we are going to be answering.
Yeah, we got so many great questions, so
Let's get to
let's
it.
go.
Izzy thinks there's treats in there.
How did you learn to do the woodwork?
That's a good question. I honestly have to say trial and error is probably number one, as well as looking at Pinterest. That's probably where all our dreams. We looked on there and then created anything. Like, we just look at the pictures and try to figure it out. So trial and error and Pinterest.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say we just kind of winged it, but...
We definitely winged it. Yeah, I don't know. I remember just like looking at like barn door designs on Pinterest and then coming up with different designs, and I think I just picked the easiest design to create and went with it. I also liked it the most. It was simple. Yeah. Like our pantry doors. How much did you spend on the van and the build?
So the
Crystal's not good with numbers.
I always forget this. Okay, so the van was $14,000
Canadian
dollars, and then the build would have been between $10,000 to $11,000, approximate, because we didn't account for everything.
Yeah, we kind of lost track with all the little things that you add up. We do have a video though that really goes through every single thing, like a breakdown of each individual thing.
And how much we spent on specific things like the floor.
So you can take a look at that. It might help you more specifically with looking at different items, because like fridges, they can get expensive.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Oh, it's you.
Sorry.
We've never sat here to do a video before.
I know. What do you pay for on the road?
So that definitely changes each week depending how much you move or what you're doing, what country you're in. But our fixed bills would be one cell phone bill, insurance, diesel, our number one breaker in the bank, dog food for us. We don't really shop or go out to eat. We don't shop at all when we're on the road.
Yeah.
So, yeah, those would be all our bills. Can you think of anything else?
Other than just like propane.
Propane's a go, yeah.
And water.
Yeah, the essentials.
Yeah, that's pretty much, I think that would be it, actually.
Yeah.
That's all we have to pay for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Camping sometimes.
Yeah.
How do you shower while living in a van?
Great question. We have a video about that. So we shower many different ways. I mean, if we are, out in the wilderness or somewhere remote, or we're able to, we use our solar shower pretty frequently, especially if it's warm outside.
Nice. Even if it's cold, we have.
We do tend to shower in, just going in the lake and getting into a river just kind of freshens you up. We don't do a full scrub by any means, but it does make you feel really clean.
Yeah, just the soaks.
Yeah, and then I guess if we're camping too, sometimes it comes with a shower, so that would be another way that we do shower every once in a while, but mostly the solar shower.
Yeah, that's our preferred method.
Yeah. Whose turn is it?
I don't know.
Mine. It's fine. How did you cut the window?
That was a fun project. Good question. So pretty much we used a jigsaw to actually cut the full circle, but there was a rib right in the middle, so we had to use a grinder, grind that off, and then it just fell off after 10 minutes of grinding, I'd say. Not even. And then we installed it.
Yeah.
Also drill to make pilot holes so you can get your little jigsaw in. Buy a good jigsaw blade that is number one, a metal blade, so they'll have like smaller little files than the bigger wood ones, and it honestly just goes right through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed intimidating, but it actually turned out to be quite easy.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that project too.
Me too.
We might be installing more. I highly recommend getting a slider one because the cross breeze is unreal. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What machines did you buy?
So we actually started off with fairly little for tools when we started to build the van.
Yeah.
We built a lot of the van with a handsaw, believe it or not. Because, we didn't have any tools at hand. So we kind of accumulated them along the way. We found...
a miter saw.
Yeah, we ended up borrowing a miter saw.
Which is key if you are, because you can do angles. They're not perfect. Straight lines. It's really nice to have.
That was super handy and much quicker than the handsaw.
But not as good as a workout, though.
Yeah. We had a jigsaw. What else did we have?
Drill, driver.
Sander. Grinder.
And I think that's it.
That's it.
We honestly went very basic on the tools. Just shows you can do it with almost anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's why our house is so janky.
Any advice for someone starting van life?
I think the best advice I could give to someone starting van life would be to move into your van and don't put any pressure on yourself to go anywhere or be anywhere. Just get in the van and figure out how to work around people or animals if you're living with others. Yeah. And kind of get a feel for what it's like and how quickly you go through your resources and how often you have to fill out your water before you take off anywhere, just because it's a really good idea to get to know how things are and see if you want to change anything. Yeah. It is a small space, so it does take some time to get used to it.
I'd say 2 weeks, and then for us it was 2 weeks, I'd say.
Yeah, and then we were kind of
and then we had a van life routine.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that advice.
All right. I see you guys share the driving. Is there a main driver and a relief driver, or does it depend on how you got up in the morning?
How we got up in the morning. Just kidding. I used to be more of the driver, I would say, in the beginning, but now Crystal's taken the reins. I don't think it's for any reason at all.
Yeah.
I would say Crystal just pays attention more than I do.
I'm pretty cautious.
She's a new driver.
I am a new driver. Yeah, I got my license for the van. Prior to the van, I only rode a bicycle. So this is my first vehicle, believe it or not.
Also, when we were on the highway, this 23-foot-long van, she looks at me and says, "This is the first time I've driven on the highway." I said, "Oh, great. Here we go."
And Jasmine is very, very interested in our surroundings when she's driving. So oftentimes she'll be looking at the window.
The world's so pretty. So it's, yeah.
She's a good driver. But
I am a good driver.
For some reason lately, I have been driving more.
You can continue. I like sometimes taking the passenger seat.
I like having you as my co-pilot.
Not a very good one.
You're a great co-pilot.
I missed the exits. How do you feel secure, especially being female and traveling across many borders?
That's a really good question. We say that about almost every question. These are all great questions. That one specifically, though, really is important for us. To feel secure, first of all, we've got the dogs. They make us feel very safe. They're very good guard dogs, and they always let us know when someone is outside.
That's why Bella's looking outside right now.
Yeah. We always have a knife and bear spray in the van for added protection and security. Another way that we also feel safe is we use the app iOverlander. It allows us to find places to sleep, and we can read the reviews of other users who have been in those areas, and they let us know how their experience was, and that way we feel a sense of security when we're going somewhere new. I think also, too, maybe when it comes to crossing borders, just having all of our things prepared, being ready, having photocopies ready of all of our documents, and doing research ahead of time of what the borders are like, where we should cross, at what time, etc., etc.
And bringing the dogs to you have to go everywhere when you cross borders. I feel like it's not one building, it's 5.
Yeah.
So they come for all the border crossings, and no one seems to bug us.
Yeah, we've had nothing but good experiences thus far.
Yeah. My turn now. I'm giving it to you.
So kind. Thank you. What is the most challenging thing or things about van life?
The most challenging thing, I would just say the ups and the downs. So at one moment, you're literally and we've showed this in videos, you're at the most pristine beach or at a petrified waterfall doing something so amazing, and all your dopamine is so high. You're really, really enjoying yourself. And then, bang, something comes and it's so low that I feel like the drastic measures... Guard dog. And guard dog. I feel like the drastic measures of the highs and the lows really can get to your mental health, because it's not really a balance. It's one day you're sleeping at this great beach, the next day you're sleeping in a Walmart parking lot, and it's just, that's the reality of van life. So it's kind of...
That's really real. That is for sure something that we've dealt with, and that can be very challenging. Yeah,
the highs and lows for sure. Also, being away from family and friends, missing certain events, I think is the second one. For me, because everyone wants to be around their family and friends, and when you're living this nomadic lifestyle, you can't exactly always be there for all the events, all the occasions, and that's tough. Or just being there for the little things.
Exactly.
So,
That's very well said. That's definitely how I feel too.
What length of van do you have?
These are all Jasmine questions, all the ones I'm getting. So I would say it's a 148 or a 158.
158!
It's a 158 wheelbase.
So that's 22 feet long.
We have a T1N series, so it's from 03 to 06?
01 to 06.
01 to 06. And for that reason, we have the 158.
There you go. Yeah, if you were going to buy a 2007, it would then go to a 170 wheelbase. So, yeah. Oh, you...
Would you change anything about the layout now that you've lived in your van?
Great question. We lived in the van for a while before we started traveling and stuff. Like, we traveled Canada, but overlanding, I would say, more so. And we actually did, 5 months in, we did change the layout. So it's kind of my dream layout now. So no, the only thing it's not about the layout, but it's more so about the build. I would go with a stationary water tank, and as well as I would make the electrical system
more accessible,
more neat, and not so I would put it in the front of my van, because when you're wiring all your wire is actually really expensive, and we have like a 2-aught wire running from the engine to the back, because it's 22 feet all the way back there, so it gets pretty pricey. So I'd probably have the electrical right up here by the front seat.
Yeah, and more accessible, I would say.
Yeah,
just it's not that it's not accessible. I would
not
just
like we go into it, but
yeah, I would like it to be more neat too.
Yeah.
I will for sure.
Next time. Next build. How do you do laundry on the road?
We do laundry at laundromats. They're so easy to find. We use the app iOverlander to help us find those laundromats. We have done it a few times by hand, and we hang it in the sun, which is really great when we have the opportunity to do that when we're camped up for a few days. But mostly at the laundromat. And the best part about the laundromats in Mexico is you drop off your clothes. And Guatemala is you drop off your clothing and you pick it up, a day later or 2 days later.
Or hours later.
And it's all folded for you, ready to go back in the cupboard.
The cleanest it's ever been.
Yeah, seriously. It is so great.
For I would say $8.
However, going to the laundromat in general is pretty fun sometimes. You bring a book, pull up a chair, or find that old crossword book in the corner.
And they have Wi-Fi.
I love it.
Nice. Yeah, it was a good time.
Don't leave me, Izzy. Stay here, honey. Aww. Where can you source materials for your van build?
That's a good question. There are many places that you can... Whoa, Izzy in the camera. Uh-oh. There are many places that you can source materials for your van build. Home Depot being one for lumber, Lowe's, Rona. We use Home Depot the most. Amazon is really good for all of those marine grade things that you need for electrical and honestly everything.
Our
inverters, lights. And then two places that we didn't really know that much would be Princess Auto. I would say has the best stuff for your electrical, hands down. They have the wire.
Yeah.
They have everything. So Princess Auto, I would say always check first. It might be a little bit more expensive than Amazon, but it is quality things. So I'd go there. And another one is so it's where you get car parts. So it's called Bay Auto Sales in Barrie, Ontario. So that's where we built the van. Any car part,
part
you're buying a part for your vehicle. They actually gave us an entire booklet about connectors and wires, and because we were a little confused because everyone has a different idea, and they were so thorough. They're going to be quality marine grade as well.
Yeah, that was huge. Also, of course, you can find recycled materials. See if people have anything available that they're not using. Some people use skids. They're a bit hard to work with, but there's lots of options.
Sanding.
Another thing, like we mentioned earlier, is we went to an RV wreckers. We didn't know this existed, but when we got there, we were in shock with how much was out there and how much you can salvage. So that's another great option if you're looking to do some upcycling.
Exactly.
Oh, I guess it's your turn.
You can pick it for me. Where do you park and sleep?
We have a video about that. Well, where will it be? Will it be here or will it be there?
I don't know. Wherever you want it to be.
We park and sleep everywhere. We use the app iOverlander for this as well. So we find the best wild camp spots on this app. They take you down the most
magical roads that lead to nowhere or everything. And it's honestly our go-to.
Yeah, and a lot of these well, 90% of these camp spots are free.
Yeah.
However, we sometimes do pay for camping. For example, in Guatemala, we paid a few times, super cheap. Like, how much
Affordable.
are camp spots in Mexico?
I would say like $3 a person to max $6 a person.
Yeah, so from like $6 to $10 a night, and you can get so much with that, and the security is obviously unbeatable.
Yeah. Also, there's Walmart parking lots or gas stations. They have like security
stores
all the time, so those are obviously places, and you find those all on iOverlander.
Yeah, and then honestly, in Canada, like especially in Ontario, being in this van, we are pretty stealthy, and not very many people look at us as if we are an RV. A lot of people don't realize what we have inside of here and think that maybe we're just a work truck or a work van.
Yeah.
And for that reason, we've never really had any issues camping in Canada or the United States. And do we say rest stops?
Oh, no, but those are a big one.
Yeah, that's
and they're
huge.
nice. They have bathrooms, showers, everything.
It's great.
Free coffee in the morning.
Yeah, honestly, it's really great in the United States for the rest stops.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
What was the most challenging van build project?
Most challenging, I think, would have definitely been, looking back, it would have been the electrical or the plumbing, just because there's so many different fittings, and you're going to be in Home Hardware or wherever for 3 hours, and you're going to go home, and then you're going to realize you missed that one elbow piece, and you're going to go back.
So true.
And there's also just a lot of information of how different people do it, which I think is the most confusing, because I guess there's really no wrong way. You can use different things depending on what you need. So when something goes wrong, you are able to fix it now that you wired it and you have made the diagram and you know what it is. So do it yourself.
Yeah.
Busy left us. How long did it take you to build out your van?
It took Jasmine and I 8 months to build our van. We were working full time though, so that was probably way longer than it would have taken us. Maybe, I don't know. We were new, so
yeah, we didn't work on it every day. We were never in a rush.
Yeah.
So
we did put in like it was almost every day though, and we would be doing it for quite a few hours, like before or after work.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we
together or apart. We kind of built the van a little solo sometimes.
Yeah.
We were getting like updates.
Yeah.
When I was at
that
work.
was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss building the van.
I know. Want to build another?
Where do you find washrooms?
So washrooms are everywhere. We don't have a washroom, obviously. Actually, that's a good thing about your van build layout. I would add a washroom after this pandemic. I would add a shower as well. Anyways, where we find washrooms, they are everywhere in the world. So if you're in a city, you can go into Starbucks. You can go into anywhere.
Rest stops.
There's bathrooms everywhere, and everyone's very generous. In Mexico, you just pay like 5 pesos and you can use a restaurant on the side of the road. Or most of the time we are out in nature, and we do have dogs, so they have to go to the bathroom, aka we just go when they go. And there's the leave no trace method, which is a nice shovel and a hole, and you do your business and you walk back.
Just like if you were camping.
Yeah, exactly. But make sure you bring your shovel.
Yeah.
Oops.
Almost lost one.
Oh, you grabbed 3 there. What should you look for in a van to make sure it will last for the amount of time that we need it?
That's a really good question. We'll definitely both answer that.
Yeah.
I would say for sure mechanically that the van is mechanically sound is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's always like this hearsay and like things about Black Death, which is obviously terrifying when you're buying a van. We were scared about that.
Though, the diesel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's
the injectors. Yeah. Any van, just I would say look at your kilometers, or miles, whatever you work in. That's very important. To bring it to a mechanic first is, I think, secondly important. Make sure it has no codes.
That's what we did before we bought the van. We took it to a mechanic and we made sure that, it was
as good as the guy said it was.
Yeah. We scanned it. We have a little scanner and OBD.
Which is essential on the road.
Yeah, so as soon as we got the van, before we bought the van, we plugged in the scanner, scanner, and scanned it for codes to see if anything had been erased or if there's anything that was present, any issues or errors that we needed to know about.
Yeah, and another good thing is just to ask the owner when they have done their maintenance. That was the biggest thing in Ontario that we found. We'd ask someone, when did you last give it an oil change? Or how's the EGR valve holding up? Or transmission change? And no one really had answers for us.
Yeah.
So records. So the guy that we bought it off had all the records, had all inspections done on it, so we knew we were going for a quality one. Then again, you are buying a vehicle. Vehicles do depreciate. So yeah, you want it to last this long, but that's not reality. Things go wrong, and I think just taking care of it will prolong its life.
100%.
So spending that extra, if your EGR valve is going bad, spending that extra just to put a new one in is definitely worth it. Changing your fluids and just giving it TLC.
And aesthetically, for us, having less rust was important on the body of the van. Especially because if the rust gets really bad, it can start creating holes, which could then come...
Then we're falling through our van.
Which could then create leaks, or we could be falling through the van, yeah. I mean, we've seen vans with holes in the floor and all things.
And they'll try to sell you them, so...
Yeah, so
rust is a good one.
Yeah, because you can fix rust. It's not a problem.
Yourself, too. Like, we fix a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we have a bad photo. Our floor's bad when we lifted it up. I wonder if I find it, I'm going to link it up here.
Yeah, we'll show you.
But you have to just grind it and grind it and grind it, and then you paint it with rust.
Yeah, a little TLC and
goes a long way.
A van like this will run for a long time.
1 million kilometers.
How do you make money on the road?
So we actually saved for this trip. We went all the way out west in Canada and worked in Tofino. It was amazing. Highly recommend going to Shed. And so yeah, we saved a lump sum so that way we could get there. We also never anticipated to always just like getting there in one go. We always were going to have breaks and come home, maybe work, do whatever. Just keeps you happy and allows you longevity in your trip. So you can always store your van places. I think that's what people always miss, is they think they need to save this big lump sum, but you don't. You can store your van, fly yourself home, work, and then start right back where you left off. A lot of people do that, and I think it's really good. And now we actually have had a few sponsorships, which is very exciting, and we believe so much in these brands. So that helps out a lot, as well as YouTube does put some diesel in our tank, no gas. So yeah, it works. Anything about your van build you would change and wish you knew? I guess I've answered that. I talk a lot.
I think you answered that.
Yeah, the water tank, electrical.
Anything I wish I knew, though? Is that something?
That's a good one.
I guess I wish I knew, or I wish I was less naive to thinking that breakdowns wouldn't happen to us. For some reason, I thought that we were like, just, it was inevitable.
She has a lot of faith in her home, let's say that.
Yeah, but it's really inevitable, and, you know, in the beginning, it was hard to deal with breakdowns when they happened, and we learned slowly how to deal with them and how to react.
Yeah. Don't act on emotion.
Do not. Just take a deep breath. It will all be fine. Everyone is out there to help you.
Yeah.
We've, you know, multiple times people have pulled over and helped us, and that's something I wish I knew, was like how to react when, you know, the van stops driving in the middle of nowhere.
That's still part of your build. Like, yeah. You're gonna get stuck sometimes.
What's your favorite food to eat on the road?
Food. I'm hungry right now. I would say it changes where we are. In Mexico, it sure was tortillas. In Canada, and it's cold right now, I'd say we're on the soup meal.
Chili.
Yeah, chili. Crystal makes a great homemade chili. So I would say it definitely changes where we are. We honestly didn't even use the stove that much in Mexico because it was too hot.
Yeah.
But my favorite meal would have to be our Cajun bow tie pasta.
Ooh, we haven't had that in so long.
I know. It's
we
so
should
good.
have that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
We can find bow tie noodles now. We have them, actually.
Yeah, that's the best meal.
I would say. How about you? Are you agreeing, or?
I don't know. I don't know what my favorite food is.
You like all food.
No, I love all food.
She's a chocolate monster.
Yeah.
Where did you learn so much about fixing, souping up, and maintaining your van? So
we learned all of our knowledge about fixing and maintaining the van online. Jasmine and I both knew nothing before anything happened. So when something went wrong, you know, we just started to get a little curious and started to look into it, did some research, and then slowly realized that, you know, we have the potential to fix this ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it happened. And, like, over time, we've accumulated this knowledge that is just
from breaking
so
down.
Good to have. I'm so grateful that we've taken the time to really look into things, because anyone can do it.
Yeah, anyone can if you honestly put your mind to it. And I think confidence is number one.
Yeah.
If you have the confidence to do something, you can. Obviously, the right tools help as well.
And making mistakes only helps you learn.
Yeah.
That's one thing we've realized as well, doing those things.
Yeah, I broke the EGR valve.
Trying to clean it.
It's a $1,300 part. It was not fun. But I learned how to clean it, and I learned how to put a new one in.
Yep.
So I would just say, yeah, that's what has happened.
Last question.
But I think there's something else. Is it the last?
Sprinter Forum.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say when you're talking. I was like, remember. Sprinter Forum is amazing. You can go in there and you'll talk to people that honestly own 10 sprinters. They own them all. They know everything about it. You literally write your problem. Actually, on the drive home, when we bought the van, all of a sudden, we had like 3 dash lights come in on our dash, obviously. It was like a brake light and 2 other things whenever I turned the lights on. And it was because we had a loose back tail light. And I wrote that in on Sprinter Forum, and someone had the exact same problem. That's how moody sprinters are. So we went back there, plugged it back in, all the lights went off. And that's all it was. So, do it yourself.
Sprinter Forum's
You
great.
can save a lot of money, too.
Yeah. So this is the last question.
Let's answer it together.
Okay. Any tips for those who have never van life before in terms of saving money?
I think money is honestly our biggest question that we always get. And I think, yes, money is important. However, try not to stress over it so much because, like I said, you can store your van and work. You can work while living in your van like we did, which helps you diminish all your bills. You're no longer paying that hefty rent bill. You're now doing things that you love or saving to do something that you love. So keeping in mind the end goal of like what you're going to be doing is like my mindset.
Yeah, I think we're pretty frugal, so that's like one way that we were able to save money. And our priority is to, get out there, adventure, and travel. So
See the
right
world,
away, we are putting money towards that before anything else. So
and
it
that's
just
our
kind of,
goal, right?
Yeah.
So everyone else has different goals.
Yeah.
So it's whatever makes you happy in life that you're gonna save for.
Also, if you're just interested in getting into van life and the initial cost is just looking,
Daunting.
really daunting.
Do it slow.
Yeah, exactly. Like just getting your van or getting your vehicle or getting your bus or your schoolie or whatever it is, and like just taking it step by step instead of looking at it as this one big project.
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen overnight for us at all.
No.
And, it took us months to find the van, took us months to build the van, and we were working while
Took
we
us
built
years
it.
to save.
Yeah, so
yeah. It's a
a
process.
process.
It's a marathon, not a sprint. That's how we'll end this one.
Okay.
Thank you all for listening to us. We hope that gave you an insight on van life. If we missed any questions, please let us know in the comments below. We'd be happy to answer more as we love talking van life, build,
Love it.
everything.
Yeah. If you have any other questions, please let us know.
All right.
And happy van lifing or
To you and your
thinking about it.
friends.
Yeah.
We'll see you all next Sunday.
See you Sunday.
Ciao.
Ciao.